This lesson is about learning how to use the clone stamp tool effectively in Photoshop. So when we're in Photoshop, we're going to start with File, Browse and Bridge, and you're going to open your Bridge browser to open files that I have placed for you in the P drive. You're going to go into Spring 2015. You're going to go into Worgen. You're going to go into Photography 1. Digital Images. And we're going to start with the document called Ripped Paper. The tool we're going to work with is going to be our clone stamp tool. Now, what the clone stamp does is it picks up pixels and covers other pixels. So we're going to look at our photograph and assess where there's damage in the photo. And if you look in the bottom left corner, we have a rip here. This is an actual rip in this photograph. So we're going to cover this rip up. What you want to do is select an area that's similar in color and texture. Now look at the grass. This grass down here would be light versus this grass up here would be dark. So we're going to clone from this area down here. So I click on my clone stamp. I drop down my brush picker. I want the hardness to be at 0 because I want it to blend. The name of the game is to make it blend perfectly. Next, I'm going to put my brush in the area where I'm cloning, and I'll probably zoom in a little bit. I'm going to make my brush bigger by using my right bracket because it's good for your brush not to be teeny tiny, otherwise this will take all day. So to clone, I'm going to press Alt on my keyboard. My mouse becomes a target. So I'm going to click my mouse while holding Alt. I'm going to click my mouse one time. I'm going to release Alt, and my brush goes back to a circle. I take my brush and I put it over the area I want to clone. You'll see that it shows you what it will look like when you begin clicking your mouse. I'm going to click my mouse and hold it one time. Notice that the plus sign in my screen has a target on it. So what it's doing is cloning wherever that target is. I'm going to keep going back and deciding where to clone from by pressing Alt. So Alt, click, release Alt, cover. Now the key is to mix it up so that it does not look like a pattern. So I'm going to keep pressing Alt, and then I go back and I paint. I'm going to go back and get some more from down here. Alt, click, release Alt, paint. Alt, click, release Alt, paint. Don't get into a habit of not going back and defining where you're cloning from, because if you don't, again, it's going to look like a mixed up pattern. Alt, click, release Alt, paint. Okay, I'm going to double click the hand tool to zoom out, and there you go, my grass is covered. The next tool I'm going to use is called the Spot Healing Brush, also known as what I call the Pimple Zapper. I'm going to click on the Spot Healing Brush, and I'm going to get rid of these 2 sewer covers. I'm going to make my brush the size of the sewer cover by left bracketing down, so it's just a little bigger. The way this brush works is it takes the diameter of the brush, so the outer edges, and when I click my mouse, it will cover what's underneath it. Zap. It's going to take the edges of my mouse and cover. And there you have now cloned and repaired damaged areas of your photo.